Hey, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video we will talk about the OUBOTEK 3000 watt 12 volt Pure Sine Wave Inverter. Thanks for watching again. As I mentioned, today we'll look at this Pure Sine Wave Inverter, which has a nice form factor. So I've been using this Pure Sine Wave Inverter 3000 watt with a surge power up to 6000 watt for a little bit now for different scenarios here in my studio and in my... So far I'm positively surprised, and that's why I want to make this video, and that's why I also want to bring this closer to you, because there was a video for another Pure Sine Wave Inverter up there which I was totally not happy with, so I was hesitant to find another unit. So, and also the other units, honestly, the Ampere ones which are up there, they are garbage compared to this one. I'm not happy with them at all. The time when I made the video, those were my first experience, I feel like, with those, and I didn't feel like that they are really good in general. So we'll see how this one will basically go through the tests. So first of all, a couple of specification, and I also want to show you my test setup, what I'm using it with, because 3000 watt is a lot of power which we try to pull. So we need batteries which are 12 volt batteries in this case, which are capable enough to do that. So that means, first thing first, we'll talk about the Pure Sine Wave Inverter from OUBOTEK, and I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure. I might be saying it wrong, and apologies for that. You can see first things first, that's wrong. This unit comes, just a unit, it comes with a remote which you can plug in, and you can actually turn it on and off with this remote. It's wired, and link in the description below. As of filming, I think this unit is out at the moment, but they have multiple other units. And what's pretty cool about this manufacturer, they have a wireless remote as well, which I sadly didn't ask for. So anyways, got this one, which is also pretty cool, and it can turn on and off your inverter. I'll show you that later. Here, additionally to what's in the box, of course, this remote unit is included. You've seen that we have some wires connected or over here. I'm actually not using the ones they delivered with it. Those are the ones. Just pure the fact because I usually like to do my own thing. I wasn't able to tell what it is or which wire size this one comes with, but for 3000 watt, you should have, at least according to the list I'm working with, you should really have you should have 2-aught wires, or even bigger, because when you're planning to pull 3000 watt or maybe the surge capacity, you actually should do the math, and the math is at least 3000 watt divided by 12, and that is 250 amp hour. That's what the wire should be capable of, because you definitely do not want to work with small wires. So long story short, I'm using different wires, and I am using smaller wires than they should be. So just be careful what you do, and I will closely monitor those wires, because the 3000 watt, I'm not pulling 3000 watt continuously. I'm doing this for this test, and we'll see how warm the wires will get. I'm using 2-gauge wires, and those are, for my purpose, sufficient, usually. I'm saying usually because they are rated to up to 120 amps, so it's half almost of the 3000 watt. So we'll see how far we can get and how much we can continuously pull and monitoring the wires at the same time. So regardless, I don't want to talk more. In the package as well, we have those fuses, which are cool that they deliver them. You have a little wrench, and you have a grounding wire. As well, of course, you have a user manual, which is pretty basic, and we are talking about a Pure Sine Wave. They have this unit. You can see in different units also modified sine wave, which I don't have and I'm not interested in. Anyways, so let's keep talking about the unit itself. We talked about this side. Let's talk about this side. That's where you connect your wires, and those are plastic caps you can take off. Your negative and your positive terminal here, and those are just protective. Clip into place, that's all. There are 2 big fans, DC plus, DC minus, that's all on this side. Pretty cool to see. We have 4 receptacles, household 120 volts, and then we have a little display here as well with a wattage, with the output 60 hertz, and we can see also the battery voltage, which is interesting. The input 13.3, and this one shows 13.6, which is different. I didn't notice this so far, and it has an on-off switch. I didn't change anything, but when I turn it off here, and we have this remote connected, it doesn't turn off. So when I turn it off now, click the button, it turns off. There you have it. Turn it back on. I can see fans kick in, checking is everything good. Nice, that's it. This input 30.2, we'll measure it in a second, or if this one is more correct over here. I'm not sure about that. And then of course you can also connect another wire, hardwired if you want to, which is nicely labeled, and also it looks like kind of protective here. I hope that's what it is. It's clipped in. There we go, plastic. And you have one quick charge 3.0. And then there are two LEDs, green for all good, and yep, that's my cat. Green for all good, and then we have red for faulty. We'll see if that will kick in at all today. Let's talk about the test setup. And I'll push this back so we can see everything, hopefully. We have this one over here. Nice, there we go, so we see everything. We have the inverter. We have the 2 gauge wire, which goes to the battery main terminal. In my case, I have 2 12-volt batteries. Whoop, those ones. We have on the left side the TimeUSB, which is this one, the white one. And then we have a LiTime over here, both group 24, and as you can see here in the parameter sheet, they're pretty close. The right side is our TimeUSB, the left side is our LiTime. And you see that they have a maximum continuous discharge current of 100 amp hour, maximum discharge current 100 milliseconds on the left side, and the other one is 1 second, about 400 amp. So that is a lot. And here are all the videos up there or over there. In case you want to look at them more closely, they were opened up, they were tested. I decided for those because they seem to be pretty close when it comes to the BMS and also to the power, so I wanted to make it as equal as possible. I don't have two 13.44, so we have 13.6 on the remote over here, and we still have 13.3 on the inverter display on this side. So what does it mean? Regardless, and you will also see as soon as you pull some energy out of those batteries, you're not able to tell how much is left because it's actually decreasing the voltage. So it's hard to say at the end, okay, it is, you know, at this stage. So reading per voltage is not the best approach, but it gives you an indication. And here you see there's a minus or plus 0.3 volts, which can be a lot. All right, so regardless, I charged the batteries to full, so we have full 200 amp hours of capacity, and we can use it. And I would say the first test we'll be doing is just initially just look if we have a pure sine wave when there's no load attached. Let me plug in this one. All right, getting closer. There we are. All right, so there's actually no load on it right now, nothing or whatsoever. Let's attach a load. Luckily, we have multiple of those outlets, right? By the way, we should measure how much we're pulling out here, actually. All right, I hope you can see everything. Here on this side, we can see what's directly pulled out of the battery. So that's the wire from the battery to the inverter, so it's around 40 amps. We can see it did drop, and that's quite easy to show. 13.1 as soon as I disconnect this, we are back at 13.3. Maybe it will increase a little bit more depending. Right now it's actually still having the 0.3 difference, 30.1 right now, so just that you know what's going on. All right, let me plug this in again. Different. All right, let me plug this in again. There we go. Please look at those lines. So it's a battery charger, by the way, so it's charging something else. So, oh yeah, there's a lot of fuzziness going on, especially looking here. So we still see, actually don't still see yet, now we see it. We have some turbulences over here. Ooh, quite a lot. Versus here on this side, you can see it says 60 hertz, 120 volts. That is quite interesting to see because even here on the voltmeter, we see 40 amps pretty continuously. Nothing changing too much. All right, so that means I'll unplug this one. Alright, I just plugged in a fan. You can see it's pulling almost 4 something amps, not a lot. Get closer here, we have, 60 Hertz, it's very stable, it looks like. There's a little fuzziness, but very stable. In my opinion, you can see the Hertz here. Let me connect the heat gun really quick to see what that one is throwing out. That one's 60 Hertz. And with that one, 60 amps on this side. Hope you see it on there. And 60 Hertz here as well. So yeah, must be the battery charger, which still works, but it's not. Definitely the inverter is struggling with it. I don't have the explanation for that. Maybe some of you might know what that is and what it is called. That might be very interesting, not only for me to educate myself, but also maybe for the viewers. We'll now do a higher load test, and hopefully we can get a lot out of this. Okay, we will now connect a higher load. And I also got one of those readers over here so we can calculate how much we're actually pulling out. Not only what's going out of the battery, at the same time to understand what is actually going out. Because it says it should be 3000 watt. We'll see. So right now we are at 184, 175. Alright, 184, 185-ish. We can see we are at 60 Hertz, pretty solid Pure Sine Wave over here. It looks good. We can see it did drop tremendously. So see now, right now, you cannot rely on this anymore. So that's a bummer. 185 is going right out of the battery, and we are getting 17.5, 17.6, and that's right here. You can see it how much it would be because the output is 120 volts. Pretty good. Let's see if we can get a higher load. Oh, and by the way, we can see here it says around 2000 watt. Continuing with this one, and I'm also having attached the heat gun, and I will, yep, that's the heat gun going over here. Let's start low. Ooh, when I say low, 250. 250 is equals to 3000 watt. We are at 21.6. According to the inverter, 2500. 21.6. So there should be more. We should be able to pull more because we are pulling 3000 watt out of the battery, but we're not getting it all the way out. So let's get and increase it one more. And there it is. Oh, that was not the inverter which kicked us out. It was my, well, what's to expect. I have one of those cheap Amazon multi-outlets. Because I only have one receptacle, which I can measure out, so we might have to skip that into those receptacles. And it's starting. So we saw that it's pretty close what it's displayed here, I believe, and also what I calculated. All right, let's get heat gun going on low. Should get to 250. Yep. And now let's get started because the batteries might get empty. Can't get over to 3000. Not having enough load. Nice. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 300. I bet the battery is now getting empty first before this inverter stops working. Pretty impressive. Wires are getting warm. We are. Now it says overload at around 3.4. Above 3300 looks like there's an overload. Nice, okay. Very impressive, very impressive. We have some heat coming out. Still feels, you can touch it. It's not that you're burning your fingers or anything else here. That's good. I don't know if you saw it, but a sine wave is still a sine wave. Load about 2000 watts continuously. 2000 watts here, and then we have the 185 amps. Pretty impressive, pretty nice. And that's what you usually want to have. You want to oversize your inverter and don't run it at a maximum all the time, because that means it's heating up. It's not made for this. In my opinion, it's not made, at least the Chinese, not made for this continuously. All right, let's stop the testing here. That's actually pretty nice. So when I push here the button, by the way, it turns everything off. You can see everything is off over here. But I can turn it on here with this button as well. So now it turns on. But it also means I cannot control it over here anymore. Because when it's in this state, when it's in the on position, this one you always need to turn on, but it has continuous power. So now it turns on. I can turn it off, but it's always on. So just keep that in mind. You have to have it in the off position. And now you can start it with this remote, like just clicking that, and that's how you control it through this remote. All right, let's open it up. I think it's time to see how the quality looks inside. Oh, by the way, I didn't show you this, but it has some mounting brackets here on the side, on the bottom, which is pretty cool. And on the bottom, it is aluminum. So this is good and sturdy, and it's also kind of a heat sink as well. And there, you can see there's a little gap. So wherever you mount it, there's a little airflow possible underneath, and that's needed. And we have a fan here. We have a fan over here, and we have two fans back here. So there's plenty of fans right now, and let me get this open. Okay, that's quite interesting. There were 4 screws underneath here. That's fine. There's just a stick on top, and here we are. Here we are. Let's see. Oh, you've been kidding me. That's great. Oh man. So what I'm usually like to look at are those fuses over here, because those are the ones which they give you extra and which should be replaceable. And I can see here those ones are actually just put in. They're connecting into the socket, so that's really cool to see. The heat sinks which can get hot. I'm not a master, I'm not a learned technician, so I'm not sure what I'm seeing here and everything else. I have a basic understanding of the inverter and how it works, but I just want to open it for you, so you have actually seen this. Here you get a better picture of what it looks like, and I hope that gives you an indication in case you want to inspect anything. I hope this is clear enough. So the fuse over here, 4 on this side, 4 on this side. We have those wires going in here from positive, negative. One thing I can see, which I don't think that's great how it's solved, is here on this side, because that's just soldered on. So when it's getting too hot, and it is getting hot, as you know, this is potentially getting loose, and this is, what is that? That is, oh, that's the sockets over here actually. What else we can see is they have glue blob over here, they have glue blob over here and here. Not too much glue, luckily. You see everything is bolted down, or maybe you don't see it. Here we go. Here there are bolts for the entire board, and a couple over spread out everywhere, so it feels like it's maintainable. You could even maintain and exchange those if in case one of those fans fails. Same with the sockets, in case something fails. I don't think that's the best way to solve this, but it is what it is. I can see there's a lot of solder around, so it should make the connection to everything. That's probably the purpose of this. Still, it's not the best way to solve this. Anyways, let me know if you need anything else from this. I actually think it is a good unit. When I look at this, it's okay. I do always like those fuses over here. You can change them if needed. There's a lot of stuff you can do, and you can reach, and you can open it up. It's aluminum housing everywhere. That's not plastic. Even here on the side, except for the fans. Obviously, the fans, the receptacles over here. That is nice. One thing I noticed, probably here on this side, when looking at those receptacles, do you have a, wait a second, I need a little plug. So when you have one of those plugs, you plug it in right away. Let me try to get this here. I hope you can see here. You see, it's in, but there's always this little play. That is not safe. I wish those receptacles would be higher quality, better, because you know, that is not safe. I don't like that. and I hope you see that. Maybe that's something which a manufacturer can improve. If you don't like those receptacles, use those ones. Just get one of those multi-plugs, wire it up accordingly, and then you can use it. So, pretty straightforward. I will be closing this one up. I will continue using this because I feel like that is actually, it passed. In my opinion, it did pass the 3000 watt continuously, no problem. It will show itself if it's, you know, when I use it for longer, when I use it with the 2000 watt or a little bit more sometimes, how long this inverter will last. We have a surge power of 6000. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this inverter. Is there any other test you want to see next time? I'll try to get closer to the surge power, which is hard for me to get to because 3000 watt is a lot already. I have to see if there's maybe some kind of other device I can use or utilize going forward. You've seen the chargers are always tricky because they are not, in my opinion, not as high quality, but this inverter was able to handle them. I had 3 different ones connected. So that did actually work. I've seen other inverters, which are also I'm using and I've tested on this channel. They are not working with those inverters sometimes. So this is pretty good to see. And it's a pure sine wave, 60 Hertz for what I've tested, except for the battery charger. And that's what I'm not surprised, those Chinese battery chargers, like one of those up there. So yeah, let me know what you think about this. I hope this video brought you some more insights about the 3000 watt pure sine wave 12 volt. They also have 24 volts and they have the wireless remote, which I would love to see, but sadly I didn't with this one. So anyways, let me know what you think about it. Thanks for watching. Cheers!